Vedanta vijnana sunishchitarthaha sannyasa yogadyataya shuddha sattva te brahma lokeshu para kale paramrita parimuchanti sarve. Vedanta vijnana sunishchitarthaha sannyasa yogadyataya shuddha sattva te brahma lokeshu para kale paramrita parimuchanti sarve. In fact, as you know the context, this mantra is actually chanted upon receiving a Mahatma or a man of wisdom. The ritual of holding the Purna Kumbha, where you receive the master with respect. So those well established in the import of Vedantic knowledge, Vedanta, Vijnana, Sunishchitartha, those well established in the import of Vedantic knowledge, Sannyasa Yoga, through the yoga of renunciation, whose minds are purified, attain supreme immortality. Yataya Shuddha Sattvaha. The minds are purified. Te Brahma Lokeshu Parantakale. They experience the Brahman Parantakale in the ultimate death, freed from all sides. Parimuchanti sarve. Muchanti. Parimuchanti, from all sides, freed. So in the first line of the mantra, he says, those well established in the deep import of Vedantic wisdom. Vedantic knowledge. Those well established in Vedantic knowledge means they have the Viveka. He's referring to the Viveka means the discrimination. Well versed, well knowledgeable, well read. They understand the difference between the Viveka means discrimination. They are very clear of what the Shastras are saying. They have the capacity to discriminate between the real and unreal, ephemeral and the eternal. And they're well established, means they're well grounded in that understanding. There's no doubt in between what should be pursued, what shouldn't be pursued. They know what is real, what is unreal. Vedanta Vijnana, Sunishchitartha. They're well established. Means there's no uncertainty in their understanding. Then he says, Sannyasa Yoga, striving through the yoga of renunciation. Yataya, striving, Sannyasa Yoga, through yoga of renunciation. So the second line he says, yoga of renunciation means Vairagya. Not only they have the capacity to discriminate between the lower and higher, they also have the capacity to renounce the lower. What is the point if you are able to merely differentiate without having the Vairagya? Without Vairagya is like fake sannyasi. Chumma pesrava, just talking. Simply talking, simply doing unnecessary comparative study, showing off your knowledge. So through the process of Viveka and Vairagya, he says, whose minds are being purified. So the mind gets purified through the knowledge of the higher and the renunciation of the lower. So you assert the higher. Viveka is to discriminate between the higher and lower. I know the difference between what to be given a value, what not to be given a value, what to be respected, what not to be respected, what to be pursued, what not to be pursued. And the Vivekam I have, that discrimination I have. I know exactly what to do. But that alone is no use. You should be able to say no thank you to the lower and still pursue the higher. If you know the difference to the higher and lower, and still if you have developed an attachment to the lower, that means there's no vairagya. So the attachment to it shouldn't be there. And what is attachment? Raghu Garu, all the knowledge that we have is only measured with how much vairagya you have. And vairagya means you have no attachment to that. And what is attachment?
Yeah, well, last class, I think a couple of classes ago, we discussed on Vairagya. Vairagya means not only having the dispassion towards us, but still you need to have the money. Like, say, if somebody has attachment to some things, if the poor person is there, he can have a easy Vairagya, but still you should be able to buy the product, at least the have the capacity to buy it, and you should also have the health to enjoy it after you buy it. So some people can easily give away some things which may not be helpful for their health. So that doesn't mean it is vairagya, but still they should be able to enjoy after getting the product. Then if you really avoid the product, that is vairagya.
Now, I know where you're coming from, but just to be in a very straightforward manner, because that's more of deduction. You come to a certain point of conclusion. But vairagya is measured by detachment, which means you have no attachment for the world. Now we are saying, what is attachment? Attachment is measured by the value you give to something that the world has to offer to you. And deep within, you know what value you give to that object or being. So the word attachment means the mental value you give to that object or being. The regard you have for it, the value you have for it, the means you fall for that object or being. Is as simple as that. When you are attached to it, that means you fall for it. You are not a master of that object. It's a weakness. Right? So one is to discriminate
Yes.
between the higher and lower. If I read the Vedantic knowledge, I know the higher truths and I know the lower pursuits. But if I don't have a sense of dispassion for the lower, then the mind doesn't get purified. Why? Because the desire still lurks. So when one backs Viveka with Vairagya, in fact, Viveka comes first. What comes next is Vairagya, isn't it? It's easy to develop Viveka, but not that easy to develop Vairagya. Following Raghuji?
Yeah. And I was thinking, by observing also we can develop viveka, probably. By observing the external things, what are all happening, we can somehow cultivate more knowledge and practical wisdom. Because my opposite neighbor, he died 6 months to 1 year now. When he died, his car is right there in front of the home, and his home is there, and everything is not touched because I don't know, his family not claiming the property, because his car is still sitting there. And every day I pass through my home, I see everything is there, but man is not there.
So are you trying to claim it?
No, I'm not claiming it, but
No, I'm not asking you. I'm not saying you're claiming it. I'm asking, are you thinking of claiming it?
no, her mother also lives next door, but she is also not touching it.
Sir,
See,
I know you know it, but you also don't touch it.
yeah,
Might
we are
unless they
not.
get in trouble.
Here everybody has guns, Guruji. No need to
Correct.
go to the property.
Sir, when I come there, should I bring my own gun or what?
You can use
Or you
mine.
give? Thanks. Then I'm okay. Once I land there, you give me your gun, because I'll have difficulty to
Yeah,
carry
that's
the gun from here. No.
yeah.
Yes, Raghuji. Thank you. Yes, Setuji.
Hariom Guruji. This,
Priyam, sir.
attachment can also be defined as love plus selfishness. Whenever we call love to our kith and kin and our properties and all that, it is nothing but attachment, because we have a condition to it. It is all conditioned. So we mistakenly assume it is love, because we want them to behave the way we want them, and when they deviate, we get we pain and suffering. So that is because of attachment.
Correct. So attachment is also defined as so he puts it is love plus selfishness. It's nothing but it's a preferential relationship to an object or being, which is what we said. It's having a value for something because it satisfies your ego. It caters to your own personal self. So striving through the yoga of renunciation. Vairagya is the capacity to drop the lower. Deem it as lower through viveka. Drop the lower is vairagya. Viveka is to deem it, is to categorize it as lower. Vairagya is to say, chalo yaar, enough is enough, drop it. So those well established in Vedantic wisdom, striving through the yoga of renunciation, whose minds are purified. So remember, we said you chant this mantra while you receive a Mahatma with the Purna Kumbha, where you garland the Swami with a coconut in your hand, you're chanting this mantra. So what are you trying to remind yourself? I want to follow the footsteps of this great man who has led this life of Viveka and Vairagya. He has freed himself of all the impurities. And as students of this knowledge, we want to reach that state with all humility and follow his footsteps. So this is what you announce proudly while you receive a man of wisdom, whose minds are purified, they attain supreme immortality. What do you mean attain immortality? Mortality means death. Death means birth. Birth means something which is subjected to change. So immortality means you are not subjected to change. You become the changeless, which is the Atman. Means you, any change of experiences doesn't really affect you. Absolute thing is the best of us don't affect you. So you have to maintain that state of immortality in all experiences. What do experiences take us through? Experiences give us the high and the low, gives you joy and sorrow, profit and loss, health and ill health, birth and death, pain and comfort. So these are the experiences we go through when we go through the anubhavam. The worldly anubhavam gives us the what is that graph, Gayatri Ma? In the hospital when you are doing ECG, no? It keeps on going up and down, up and down, up and down.
UCG.
Immortality is straight line. That is not samapt, chapter closes, isn't it? If straight line comes, chapter close. We are not talking in that sense. That's the reason he says ultimate death. So what is ultimate death? That straight line. ECG straight line is ultimate death. No up and down. That fluctuation is not there. Ultimate death, samapti. Samapti of what? Parantakale. Parantakale, antakale. In the ultimate death, death of not the physical body, the death of the individuality. The individuality or the aham bhava or the ego that you have been asserting right through your life. So the experience of Brahman in the ultimate death, freed from all sides. Parimuchanti means there is no more ahankar to anything. The last trace of ego or I and my is completely gone. So the ultimate death here rightly refers to the death of ego. As I've always said, when you keep quoting these texts, the word seems to have a deeper meaning, a different meaning, a convincing meaning. It convinces you. The message seems very more real to you because you're getting more closer to the goal. Those who are doing abhyasa, for them it will appeal. Otherwise, it's only information.